What's up guys, welcome to another episode of Alberto Big Boost. I will be installing today a harness bar on my E36, and also I want to install a fuel pump since I have to upgrade a fuel pump to keep fuel demand on my new engine. Since my engine is turbocharged, I require a bigger fuel pump so I can supply enough fuel for the new fuel demand on the new turbocharged engine. I got a surprise in the mail from NRG and I want to show you guys what it is. Before I open this wonderful box, I want to show you guys the harness bar. I got an NRG harness bar, but unfortunately it came out in gray. I want it black, so I'm gonna spray paint this before I get started on the rest. Right here, I have the fuel pump that I'm gonna be using. It's a 255 Walbro. This is the GS342 version. I got two different filters. I got the shorty one that comes with a Walbro. I also got an AM longer one, depending which one fits better in my car. I also got two hoses. These are submersible fuel hoses. I got clamps for it, got connectors, and this little ring right here is very important because this holds the filter to the fuel pump. Also got the plug and little harness for it. So a little pigtail thing. These are adapters depending on the thickness of the bore or whatever where you're installing the pump. Those are adapters to make it fit snug. Now that I have everything painted, I can go ahead and open this box now. Let's see what we have here. I got a box from NRG. It looks like a pretty nice box. Let's see what we have in here. I got more shirts. Awesome. More shirts, NRG stickers, and I think this is what I've been waiting for, guys. Oh, let me see if I can do it with one hand. Here it is. I got my own BIGBOOST steering wheel thanks to NRG. I had this wheel custom made for me. It has my BIGBOOST logo on it. It's engraved. Also, it's black suede with the red indicator line. Oh man, this thing, I can't wait to install this now. This thing looks awesome and it feels great too. That means that I'll now have to do a video installing the steering wheel, the harness bar, and the fuel pump. Here's both wheels compared. They are the same diameter, but one very important feature of my wheel compared to the other wheel is that not only does it have solid spokes, but they're thicker. These spokes are a lot thicker than the previous spoke, meaning my steering wheel is like more reinforced and super sturdy. I know you guys were like talking about that, so this wheel, it's a lot sturdier than my previous wheel. Here is a side-by-side comparison. Look at the thickness of this spoke, and then I don't know if you can tell the difference on this spoke, but they are quite different. I'll take the hub out so I can show you guys exactly what I mean. Here is a more accurate side-by-side comparison. You can tell the construction of the new wheel is a lot more improved than the previous one. It's also a lot thicker. So this wheel is greatly improved from the old version. How many of you guys will actually be interested if I start selling these wheels as the BIGBOOST wheels? It'll be my other product next to my shirts. I don't know. You guys tell me if there's enough people that want these, I'll actually make it happen. I'll start selling these. Guys, this steering wheel is so sturdy that now instead of the steering wheel flexing, I actually can flex the whole steering column with it. As you can see, the steering wheel is not flexing. It's actually, I can flex the whole column because I'm putting a lot of strength into this. This is great. This is a rock solid wheel. I couldn't be happier with it. You guys definitely should jump on this. I'm so happy that I finally got a solid setup for my car. I really can't wait to drive this. Actually, everything might be arriving this week. Hopefully, if there's no delays on the shipping. I ordered like $2,000 worth of parts last night so I could get everything shipped and be ready to finish the car this week, if everything arrives in time. I've already been thinking about putting a gauge here, but I don't want to lose the spot for the radio. I want to have a stereo in my car, so I might actually make my own little custom aluminum plate and put 2 gauges up here if I need them. This has me really curious. Why does my steering shaft have so much play? You see it? It's like the little bearing thingy right here has a lot of play. That sucks. Now I have a super strong steering wheel and now my steering shaft has play. Come on, I can't have a solid setup, really? Now for the fuel pump installed, it's all the way back here in this lid, so I'll have to remove the passenger seat. Gotta undo this 4 Phillips screws and pry open this lid. There's a little gasket on it. And then there's 2 plugs, a white and a black one. Alright, now those are out of the way. Now I have 2 fuel line connections. I'll need to remove both of those. And then you can use a flathead screwdriver and a little hammer and tap this ring off to unscrew it off. The first ring, this one is non-reusable, so I normally just like take it off and put a replacement one on there. Now you tap this. And now the ring is off, you can remove the assembly. One thing to notice is the orientation of the fittings on the fuel pump. On this one, they're both on the same side. Sometimes you have it on one side and this will be on the other side. That's why I got this part number, which again is a GSS 342, so it has the fittings on the same side. After seeing the configuration of the strainer, it looks like instead of using this, I'll be using the AEM style strainer, which mimics the factory one, which goes on both sides right up the middle instead of going off to the side. Again, have one of those non-reusable clamps, so I'll be replacing that with a regular hose clamp, and then also I'll be reusing this hose right here. Here's the old pump, and then the new pump. I already installed it. I put the little sleeve on it so it becomes the right thickness. Also, it has this little lip right here that sits on a clip on this. So what I did, I put a zip tie around the housing, that way the zip tie acts like this lip and it just clicks in there, it can't move anymore. So now my fuel pump is fixed. I got this strainer, this is the AEM unit. So it goes on here like this, and it has this little clip on the bottom that centers it. Now, that's where this little thing right here comes in place, where this holds it in place. The little clip is holding it in place, so now it can't move. So this is what the assembly looks like. Now I gotta put it back in the housing. This is what it should look like after you're done. Now I gotta install the fuel line. So I'll remove this little cap right here. Now that that's in place, I can put a clamp to secure it. Then I'll need to cut these wires off so I can use a new plug. Now that I made a secure connection, I can just plug this thing back on the pump. Guess that looks pretty good right there. Basic stuff about the fuel pump assembly. If you guys are wondering what this is the fuel tank floater. What it does, it indicates the fuel level. As the fuel level rises, it moves the floater up, and if it lowers the floater up. It has a variable resistance indicator here, so depending on where it sits, it has a different resistance that will let the gauge know where to move. With everything in place, it's now time to put the fuel pump back in the tank. I got both hoses back installed. Now I can reinstall these plugs. That completes the fuel pump installation part of the video. Normally I would suggest for you to check for fuel leaks after you install the pump, but since I don't have the fuel rail connected, I cannot pressurize the system and test for leaks yet. I'll have to install the rest of the parts on the engine so I can actually do that. I now have all of my parts for the harness bar painted glossy black. So I got everything assembled and it's ready for installation. Now you just gotta prep the car to be able to install the bar. On the car, the bar is going to be installed where the seat belt normally mounts to. Right here and on the other side. Now that I put the bar just hand tight on both sides, this is what it looks like. Now I have to install these sticks, which go from the bar to the side of the car where the seat belt mounts to. I'm gonna be using the stock bolt back on this. So it brings these little spacers which go on the side of this so this can pivot. So one is gonna go between the car and this, then another one on the other side, and I'm gonna attach the seat belt on the same thing. So there will be the lower left seat belt point of the 5-point harness is gonna go also on this point as well. I actually ended up adding another spacer, so I got spacer, the pillow ball thing, another spacer, the seat belt, and then another spacer so it holds very good surface, and then the bolt. Now this is going to attach all the way up here once I adjust it. I now have the harnesses installed on the both outer sides. The bar's in place. I just put the bolt through. Now I'll put a little washer here and an nylon lock nut. I gotta do the same thing on the other side. After I do that, then I will go with the adjustment of the height of the bar depending on the seat position. I now install the bar and it's lower than where I want it. If you can see through the seat belt, or like it should be like about right here, about like an inch higher. So I'll go ahead and adjust it by twisting this thing. One of them is reverse thread, so you just twist on this and it will lift it up. So it'll unscrew from both sides evenly. Actually very, very easy. You want your harness bars to be no more than 10 degrees below your shoulders, and this looks about 5 degrees right there. I think we're golden. At this point you can go ahead and tighten everything down. So I tighten this, tighten that over there, the bolt on the bottom, the adjustment nut, and then this 6mm Allen key right here, Allen bolt. There is a proper way to tie down the seat belts on the harness bar or a roll cage. First you need to undo the other hinge that it has for mounting. Then you loop this underneath the bar. Then you're gonna run the seat belt through this opening here. And then you want this to be as tight to the tube as possible. At this point, you want to measure yourself and make sure you get the right distance of the seat belt so you have the proper adjustment done. I already did that, so I'm going to go ahead and run it through the next loop, which will be this one. And now you're going to loop it back over the top one. This one is sometimes really hard, but these seat belts are actually really good, so it makes it a lot easier. And now this is how you properly tie down your seat belts to the harness bar. Now I get on the car, put on the harness, and check once more and see if I need to readjust the seat belts. Looks like I still got a little bit of slack, so I can go back about 3 more inches. Alright, let's see if I fit any better now. I got a little bit of slack, and then I can just pull down on the seat belt. Wait. There we go. Now I'm tight, which actually, since I don't have the bottom tied down, it went up, so I didn't have to adjust that much. Whoops. Anyhow, now that I'm tied down, I can't go forward at all. It's like stiff. This is how it should be. That's the whole point of a racing harness. You get stuck to the seat, so you're able to not hold from the steering wheel or anything. You can just drive, and it will keep you in place when you're taking corners or whatever. This makes me want to drive my car even more now that I have this cool custom steering wheel. Just let's go. Get out, get out. Here's another cool look of how the interior looks like now. I actually like that you can actually put the steering wheel on there with the quick release. Has the little flappers in the back, it just literally holds in place. Another successful installation day. I managed to complete my goals without any setbacks. Tomorrow I'll definitely be working on Nicole's car. My parts have not arrived yet. I ordered a bunch of parts for the E36, so I'll have to wait for those to arrive in the mail. Also, I cannot install a wiring harness yet because I ran into one small issue. Quick little E36 tech. Alright, so I have a 1994 E36, which is OBD1 with the Vanos. The computer that I ordered, they make a plug and play, but it's for 92 non-Vanos engine. Now the wiring harness changes, so does the pinout, even though it looks the same. So I have to actually put a 92 OBD1 non-Vanos harness on the car so I can plug and play the new ECU. Hope you guys loved the video and the progress done on the E36. Hopefully, if my parts arrive in time, I will be able to start it this weekend. If not, for sure next week this car will fire and I'll be ready for tuning. Please hit the like button and subscribe. I'll see you guys tomorrow.